Are these new Iso-8 requirements part of some new next level plan for introducing content to Marvel Strike Force? I got my thoughts on it. I also have my thoughts on these new Mythic legendary requirements for Adam Warlock. Are they too steep? We're going to discuss that and the rest of the bombshells dropped in the latest blog post, guys, plus all of your questions from the mailbag channel. So if you're ready for all of that, guys, find that like button and let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin.
Woo! What is up, Valley Maniacs? I am ValleyFlyin. Welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. It is Monday. It is time for the mailbag. It is time to answer your questions from the Discord server. And if you want your question potentially featured in an upcoming episode of the Monday or sometimes Sunday mailbag, make sure you join Discord. Go to the channel there with the mailbag questions and I'll leave your question there. And I try to get to as many of them as possible. And big shout out to everybody that left a question there, whether it gets entered in this video or not. Thank you for leaving that question. Now, if it's your first time here, guys, subscribe. We do this every week, whether it is on a Sunday or Monday. We do these mailbag questions every single week. So stay tuned for that. And also more great Marvel Strike Force and more great Marvel Future Revolution content coming on this channel. But without further ado, it's time to get to some sponsors. It's time to pay some bills. So before we get to all of your questions and talking about this blog post, let's have a word from Raid Shadow Legends, who's been sponsored to this channel for a while. Raid Shadow Legends has a whole world of amazing looking champions, all from their own unique factions. And if you want to check them all out right now, make sure you use my link in the description, where we're going to take a look at the Bannerlords, one of the first factions that you'll encounter in Raid Shadow Legends. The Bannerlords are one of the few completely human factions in Teleria, the world of Raid Shadow Legends, and they were one of the founding members of an alliance between the Sacred Order, the High Elves, and the Barbarians to push back the forces of evil. But that was a long time ago. When we meet them in Raid, they're seriously lost their way, and they've launched a war against one of their old allies, the High Elves. And one of the Bannerlords I'm working on right now is this guy, Horden. He is great for farming those campaign missions. One of the reasons for that is this skill, Relentless Strike. He's going to attack an enemy 2 times, but if he kills one of his targets, he's going to get granted an extra turn. So he is pretty weak. Let's take him into campaign missions right now and build him up, get him stronger. And one of my favorite campaign locations is the Deadlands. The reason for that is not only will you have a chance to get in your normal drops, you also have a chance of dropping War Maiden right here, who's a very good champion in her own right. And this month, Raid is even more jam-packed than ever before. They've added 11 champions and 200 brand new missions, which if you complete them all, you will be rewarded with an exclusive legendary champion. And if all that wasn't enough, they've also added 5 tough new levels to almost every single dungeon. The Raid is getting bigger and better every single month, and it's never been an easier time to get started. So what are you waiting for? Go to the video description, click on my links, and support my channel by downloading Raid today. Yes, and big shout out to Raid Shadow Legends, guys. And just quick side note, I've not experienced any bugs while playing Raid Shadow Legends. They may be there, but I've not noticed them at all. Whereas Marvel Strike Force, not so much. There are bugs that I experience on a daily basis. Silver Surfer's still crashing the game. But anyway, without further ado, let's go check out the blog post. Let's review, in case you haven't been around for the past couple of days, you don't know what's going on in Marvel Strike Force. The community is hot right now with these Iso-8, these Adam Warlock requirements. Let's go review this before we get to these questions, just so you're caught up before we get to all the salt. And I try to not to be too salty, but yeah, the devs said they wanted the salt when they do something that's not very player friendly, and I think this is not very player friendly. All right, first thing, let's talk about Adam Warlock. I haven't really looked at his kit because we don't know the kit of the rest of the team. We don't know the full kit to the reworks for Gamora and Nebula, so he looks like a good character. But let's talk about these unlock requirements, the Infinity Watch. Now, this is going to be a mythic legendary event, as they say right here. It's going to have additional requirements, not just the normal requirements. And I hope this is not how legendary characters are going to be in the future. I hope this is some special event, like Ebony Maw was a little special. Then we had Jubilee and Doc Ock, just some normal legendary characters. So I hope this is not, they're not all going to be mythic going forward, but they have these additional requirements. We need Jubilee on there, who's the second legendary character required for a legendary character. I don't think that's too egregious because they've done this in the past. I was expecting that again this year. You know, I think they sold a lot of Ebony Maws requiring Black Bolt. I think they're going to do that same thing. Now, this is the interesting thing. 4 X Factor characters at 5-star. All of these X Factor characters currently unfarmable right now. previously what they've done with legendary characters. There were some that people had in their rosters for a long time, but not all 5 newer characters that came out within the past 6 months or so. So this is something that's brand new. Character level 65 for this unlock doesn't seem too bad. Gear tier 12 doesn't seem that crazy. ISO level 3, first time they're requiring Iso-8 in order to get into this legendary event. Doesn't seem that bad so far, but when you couple it with the changes that are going to be coming to the Doom Raids, or they announced for the Doom Raids, I still think they're going to go back on it, but yeah, it's not a very good change. All right, and then we're getting this free level 6. A little confused about what happened, but you guys reminded me in Ebony Maw, there was this free event that we just got to use the Black Order, so that's maybe where we're going to be able to use the Infinity Watch, and then more stars for this. So 6-star requirements to getting into this to get the 6-star unlock for Adam Warlock. That's been there before. Tier 13, you're getting this a little steeper, and you're having to find some of those mini uniques, those tier 13 uniques. They said they're going to make those a little more available, mainly in stores and in the gold store, and I think the raid store. So let's see how much they add to this. They did describe that in a strike time video that they're going to increase this. ISO class level 4. This is where it's starting to get a little limiting as far as some of the resources we need to use, as far as the crystals and the ions. And then tier 7. This is not good at all. The 7 stars, that's normal. Tier 14, that is a lot of mutant resources that we have to use for these characters. I don't mind it necessarily if this is just if this is not something going forward, if they're not all mythic legendaries going forward, but this is the real limiting one. And this, coupled with the changes potentially coming to the Doom Raids, make this very, very hard to palette there. So that's what the requirements for Adam Warlock are. You need your X Factor, so Jubilee, and then you're going to need Shatterstar, Longshot, Polaris, Multiple Man for that, and no way to get shards for any of those characters right now without building out your, not building out, without getting out your credit card from your wallet there. All right. Doom Raid changes. These are the most upsetting, and for a lot of people leaving over these changes. Now, I do fully expect them to roll back on this. If they don't, I think that's the most short-sighted decision that they have made. And but basically, what you need to do from now on, Doom First Strike is going to be gone. We're getting the normal version of Doom, and characters used in the first 5 nodes of Doom will need to equip with at least ISO-8 green cast level 4. The remaining nodes will be level 5. You need level 5. So yeah, I'm almost 100% into Doom Raid in my lane today. Not going to be able to even enter anymore, and that is what feels the worst about this entire scenario. So basically, I did want to address one thing I saw on Reddit. Is this part of some big conspiracy plan for the devs? You know, they've done this in the past. They've announced these steep requirements like they are for the Doom Raids, and then we're saying, let's scale this back. Maybe their original intent was to do ISO-8 level 1 or 3, but when it's so bad as level 5, it's like, all right, we could do level 4. Let's do level 4, and maybe that's higher than they wanted. I don't know if that's the case. I mean, they've done that in the past with the requirements for the milestones for Silver Surfer, the cost of Red Guardian, a lot of things they've made it not friendly, and they rolled it back so it's less friendly. I don't know. There is some logic to that, because it's a little more palatable if we have something bad and they scale it back. It's like negotiation. You always start with your highest offer, and then based on what the people do, like, let's meet in the middle, let's compromise. But if you go with your initial offer and they're like, yes, you're like, oh, I could have tried to get something a little higher with that. So maybe this is just their initial offer. Maybe that's just a way of doing business, and they're wanting for us to compromise, or they're seeing what we're going to put up with as a community. I think this is crap. I think they're going to go back on it. I hope they go back on it. And I don't know. There's a risk there in doing that kind of negotiation tactic. Players leaving during that time. They're not even willing to negotiate. They're just say, I'm done with this crap. This game has changed. This game has changed within the past few months. See, there's not been a lot of excitement from the blog post. It's always been something good, and it's something really, really unfriendly. So I hope there's some changes. I hope they read the room a little more, and not just make decisions based on what's going to make the most money, but what's going to give the players the most friendly experience. Because this might make them a lot of money. This might make them us do different lanes into Doom Raids. But this does not add fun at all to the game. And I hope they look at every decision they make, not just from a financial decision, but from a fun decision as well, because this does not add fun. I think more options, more choices that we can make. Let the players figure it out. The players have figured out ways around things, how to not do certain things if you don't have the gear or the levels. The players can figure it out. That is fun. Restricting it is not fun, and that's why this is such a bad change, guys. All right, but let's go to your questions. Some of these are from early in the week, so some of these were not taking into the perspective of these raids that we got here. All right, ValleyFlyin, should I take my Ultron to 1 red, even though I use him only in war? He's fallen off on the meta, and he might not be worth it. Your thoughts on this? So yes, definitely take him. If you have the dark promo credits, take him up to level 1. What else are you going to use your dark promo credits on? Ultimus is totally useless right now. So if you have them, spend them on Ultron. Here's the thing though, don't go out of your way to buy them. I don't think even with 3 red stars, he's going to make that much of a difference to that character or your gameplay experience. So don't go out of the way to get the dark promo credits, but once you have the dark promo credits, what else are you going to use them on? Take them. Yes, so that's my recommendation, even if you're not using them as much, because at this point, what are you going to spend it on? Maybe down the road that might hurt you if characters like Doom or someone comes in, but that hard cap might make it a little tough. So yeah, if you have it, just spend it is my recommendation. I think eventually down the road they're going to add more stars on him anyway, but that could be long down the road. All right, greetings from Bulgaria, greetings from Texas, brother. Wish you a recovery after their surgery. Thank you, brother. I'm actually most of the time I'm out of the brace right now, so it's recovering. I still got to sleep with it. I still got to leave the house with the brace, but a lot of times I can go around the house. So thank you, brother. It's on schedule. All right, first time read question. We're happy to hear your opinion about my hesitation. Who to bring in the cosmic lane of Dark Dimension 4? Currently have Thanos. I plan to bring Proxima for sure, but I'm stuck. I have to choose between Silver Surfer and Hela, and one more. Since my X Factor dad bros are 4 yellow stars, I'm not sure if it's wise to invest in them. Or Minerva is an option, but expensive one. Glad to hear your suggestions. All right, so for Dark Dimension 4, you got to think about 3 major things. There may be more, but there's 3 that I think about. One is the actual cost of this character. So Hela, expensive character. Minerva, expensive character. But are they going to give you value in Dark Dimension 3? That is the other thing. You got to look at their value in Dark Dimension 3. The third thing you need to look at is their value after Dark Dimension 3. So we're looking at these different characters. I think your value after Dark Dimension 3, the biggest one is going to be Silver Surfer. That's the one you should take up. If you're looking for cost, Silver Surfer also wins that battle with cost, because Hela, I believe, is a 90 character, and Minerva is also a 90 character. So they're very expensive. Neither of them win that cost battle. The value in Dark Dimension 4, though, I think Minerva has a lot of value because she does a percent-based damage attack. She's gonna be one of your top damage dealers and one of your best healers on the team. Same like Dark Dimension 2, same like Dark Dimension 3. And she could help you revive if one of your characters dies. So Minerva is a decent choice. She does have long cooldowns, so placing her next to Thanos is risky, but can serve you well going down the road. Silver Surfer, I've tried him a few runs in Dark Dimension 4. I don't know if he's made that much of a difference in Dark Dimension 4 specifically, but he's going to give you a lot of value outside of Dark Dimension 4. Using him in Arena, I'm using him in the raids, I use him in War, I'm using him in all over the place. So Silver Surfer is giving a lot of value, and Hela, I'm using her in the raids and taking her off my primary arena offense team. So not using arena offense, but she's still involved in war a lot. So that's where you're going to find value. And Minerva, not a lot of value after Dark Dimension. So hopefully you these things help you determine which character you want to take up. I don't know if there's going to be one cookie cutter answer for everyone. So hopefully looking at cost, their value in Dark Dimension 4, their value after Dark Dimension 4 is going to be very good for helping you make decisions. And Hela, very good in Dark Dimension 4 because of Greg. I think a lot of people neglect all the turn meter that you're removing from the enemies every time Greg dies, also taking some heat off of your team. So Hela and Minerva really stand out as the best choices for Cosmic DD4. Silver Surfer, not as much. And as far as value out after Dark Dimension 4, Silver Surfer wins that battle. So those are a couple things for you to consider. Hopefully that helps you make a decision, but I'm not sure which is the best for you. But I would have to know more information about your roster, what you're doing, but hopefully that helps, brother. All right, next question. Valley, I was the person asking about Emma or Anti-Venom. I haven't done either yet, and I might do AV as I have all the other symbiotes. Anti-Venom is a very good choice. So when you talk about where I'm using them right now, and you may be using them in different places, so the answer for you might be less, but ask yourself, what upgrading these characters is going to help you with. Now, Emma, I'm using her every day in arena on arena offense, mainly because of her passive. She usually dies before I get to use her second skill, but just having that passive there, reducing the speed of the enemies, makes it worth it. So you might want to build up Emma, although if you're using her like I am just for that passive, you may not need to. The symbiotes, Anti-Venom, I'm using the symbiotes every single day in the Doom raids. If you're in Ultimate 7 and you don't have the Axemen, you don't have Jubilee, you're probably using them every day in Ultimate 7. So as far as value, you're gonna see both have mixed value in the war, but as far as value right now, as far as end game content, arena is Emma and the raids is going to be Anti-Venom, and that's where I would prioritize them. And whatever you need help with, whether arena or the raids, then hopefully that helps you with your decision as well, brother. All right, hey Valley, just want to know what the F is Scopely doing? Yes, they've added silver shards to milestone 20 instead of 28. But they didn't leave 2 shards at 28. They moved it to milestone 33, something like that. I should have known Scopely could tactics cater to the whales. Here's the all right. So I don't think this is a bad thing. I mean, if you look, some players that were getting 0 shards, now they're able to get shards. Some players that were getting shards are getting the exact same amount of shards. And yeah, I don't think this is a bad thing. You know, it's not giving the higher spenders more silver surfer shards, just giving the same amount of silver surfer shards. As far as my calculus, I think it's exactly the same at the end of the entire milestones, but I don't think it's a bad thing. I think this is something that extended to players, and you're either getting the same amount of shards or you're getting more shards. I don't think this decreased the shards for anybody. So I as much as we can complain about the things that Scopely does, and they give us a lot of reason to complain, this isn't one of them. Now, keeping it at milestone 28 might be one of them, but I mean, we're getting an extra T1 material with the new milestones, brother. So how could you forget about that? That made it all worth it to me. Can you tell us, for past characters, how in advance does your Envoy status make you aware of incoming characters? So not very much information from the Envoy program. Usually it's like the next day or a couple days, but we don't get information too far in advance. There's been a lot of leaks that are happening, and there are rumors on this channel, but Scopely differentiates between leaks and rumors, even if it's just in that wording. There's a big differentiation from Scopely. So there is a differentiation on this channel. Now, leaks are not good. Rumors, we do rumors all the time. And rumors, they are coming from various sources. So some of them may pan out, some of them may not pan out. Now, a lot of the ones from Drew pan out more often than others. And, you know, so yeah, we don't get the information too far in advance, but sometimes there are rumors that come in advance, and those are pretty random. I don't go out searching for rumors or incoming characters, but when people give it to me, especially if they have a track record of being accurate in the past, I'm going to share it with you guys. But it's not really something that I actively go out and seek, like I know some other content creators do. But yeah, if they come to me, I will reveal it to you guys, but they're all rumors until it's actually confirmed by the devs. Anything, there's no leaks on this channel, but a lot of rumors that may or may not pan out. So yeah, but yeah, it's as far as Envoy, it's like the next day we will know something, or 2 or 3 days in advance. But since the leaks, it's usually like the next day. It's usually a few hours actually only when we know things are coming. So yeah, we don't know too much as Envoys, but just as someone in the community that has his ear listening to things, I do know some rumors, but again, they're rumors. They may or may not be happening. All right, hey Valley, can you ask Scopely why they have a personal vendetta against free-to-play players? I'm just so livid over the AV and premium raids right now are either late game or locked with Axemen. Doom campaign for Yellow Jacket to get Jubes has been around for years at the time. Blitzes, high red stars on others, paywall by other Symbiotes. How am I supposed to do the Dark Dimension City notes? This makes no sense. Yeah, so the decision to add Anti-Venom to the premium orbs is not was not well received, as I would not expect it to be, because we got 2 symbiotes in the game that are farmable, Venom and Carnage. The rest of them, Symbiote Spider-Man, locked behind the Milestone orb, Scream locked behind that crappy, stupid arena orb, and now Anti-Venom will be locked behind the premium orbs coming this week. So yeah, it's not good, especially when you need them for raids. You need them for Ultimate 7 as a newer player. Unless you manage to get Jubilee and the Axemen, then maybe not as much. You need them for the Doom raids because there's not another bio team that can compete with the symbiotes as far as the efficacy in the bio section. So gonna need them, and this is not a great decision. Scopely, I don't know if they fully look at that or fully trying to screw the free-to-play players. I just don't think they have fun as their main decision-making factor, as it seemed like they did previous to 2021. I think 2021 has been a major cash grab. There's been some positives, but every positive they give us is followed by some negatives as well. But there's never had in 2021. There's never had a blog post that I've looked at. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. It's always, oh, we got this and we got this and we got this and we got this. So I just don't think they have their priorities straight. I think it's all about the profits, which as a business, I think it should be. But I think their profits are tied to the fun factor in the game. And I think they're kind of neglecting that so far. A lot of the things that they're announcing that they thought would make people happy, this costumes, the new character being added to the Marvel canon, that's something that excites them. I don't think that's really something that excites the players. Real-time arena, I thought that they thought that would be a hit. That was not. And just all their decisions, I don't think they had fun in mind with any of them. They're just, all right, how are you going to unlock the next step? How are you going to grind this next character? How are you going to get this next character? And not how are you going to have more fun in the game? So I think that's the problem. Not necessarily free to play and whales. I think whales are spending to overcome some of the issues that are in the game right now. But at some point that gets old. That gets old, especially if they're not adding more fun stuff to the game. Just unlocking characters, just adding more grind. We need a new fun game mode, I think. I don't know about need, but I want a new fun game mode because RTA, that turned into a fail on its premise. The way that it could have been an awesome game mode, but the way it is in the game right now, tied to that battle pass, players playing that thing that doesn't want to play, that are just doing it for their objectives. It is a massive fail. All right. Yeah, so if this makes sense. If they want to milk symbiotes, they should at least give us another good city raid team so you can access once you reach level 50. Yeah, that's the real issue with this. We don't really have a good raid team that we can get right now. It's either Axemen or symbiotes, and if you don't have either, then you're just kind of piecing together stuff, and it's not as fun of experience. And I think that's what's been lost. Silver Surfer, Kestrel, same thing. They're great characters, but it's not available to everybody unless they're spending a lot of money. So they do need to appeal to the people that spend, because those are the people that give them the profits. But they should do that with fun in mind, in my opinion. All right, hey Valley, have you heard anything regarding compensation about Red Star orbs that were open and undone with the game being reset? Yeah, that emergency downtime with their massive amount of screw ups. Message support because I got a 6 red star on Electro, 7 on Kestrel, so I messaged support. They finally got back to me a week later and told me everything received for comp, and that's it. All orbs have been restored. All I got was 10 basic orbs. You know that anyone that has received the orbs they opened back? I'm not sure how widespread of an issue this was, but I know there were some people that opened their orbs during that time that got reset, and they got some good pulls, and they didn't get those good pulls back. Yeah, so here's if you open the 20 basic and 3 red star elite, 4 two elite 5s, yeah, you should get all those back. It's not getting back, so that is the issue. If you open all those orbs, you should get those back. Here's the issue on Scopely's end though. Another bug that I could not confirm because I was not logged in during that time, and I was not opening red stars during that time, is I heard that people were opening unlimited amount of red stars or getting crazy red stars on these characters, and it was not being taken out of their inventory. So I think a lot of people were getting some high pulls like this, the 6 red star Electro, 7 red star Kestrel. They were getting some good pulls that unfortunately needed to be reset back. Now, what I think is total crap is that they're not only you get 10 basic orbs, you open 20. You should get another 10 basic orbs. You open a 3 red star elite 4s, so you should get those 3 back, and you open 2 elite 5s, you should get those back. That is total BS that customer service has not rewarded you with those back. I don't think they can reward these red stars on these characters back, but they should at least give your original orbs back. That is some pure crap. Keep messaging to the customer support. If you got messages to Cerebro, sometimes he has player IDs. You could tag me on Discord, and I will forward your player ID to him there through Discord, because sometimes he goes and looks into individual cases. But yeah, this is total BS if you haven't gotten your original orbs that you opened during that emergency maintenance time back. That's crap. Scopely, I don't think they're fully aware of what they're doing when they roll stuff back. There was some issues when they did those those orbs in Australia, those 3,000 orange orbs. So yeah, they need to fix some things there. Hey, Valley, I want to thank you for an amazing job you're doing. I love to watch your videos. Finished DD3 for a second time. Congratulations. Now I am preparing for DD4. You can take a look at my roster and advise on best teams, which I have sorted by gear tier, only 2 at gear 15. All right, so here's the problem with Thornton. I clicked on this link here in Discord and it gave me this screen. I don't have access to it. So if you want me to do this, send me a link that I can access. But I don't know if maybe this will be a thing. You know, maybe we'll do 1 or 2 of these per mailbag. I don't want to flood the whole mailbag video with a bunch of roster reviews because honestly, I don't know if I have good recommendations for that. I have recommendations based on my roster, but I don't really have recommendations based on where players are on at different levels of the game because the game has changed so much since I was at the early game and mid game. But I'll try my best. But yeah, maybe if you guys want this, maybe we could do this once or twice a mailbag, and then maybe more often on the live streams in the morning if that's something you guys really want to see as far as a content perspective. But make sure I can click on the link and I have access to it before you guys do that. All right, ValleyFlyin, just notice when you're in a match and you have to go to a pause menu, you click on teams to inspect your team stats. They don't change in value according to the synergies the team has with each other and the game mode you're in. Is this a bug? It probably is. There's been a lot of visual bugs I've had with power levels and things like this. I think this is just another one. I don't know if this is a feature that's used enough for them to know that this is a bug, though, for enough people to be complaining about it. But yeah, I think it's a bug. It would really be cool to see this. I think there's more, you know, areas in the game that I think they should fix that are more widely used before this one. But any bugs, this is a huge hassle if you can't see the correct stats in the match. I mean, how hard is that to get correct stats in the game visually, Scopely? I mean, this is ridiculous. But yeah, I think it's a bug. It would be nice to have this one corrected as well. But yeah, the Silver Surfer is still crashing the game, guys, at high graphics mode. So I think there's more important bugs, but this is something that definitely should fix because this could throw off whole matches if you're looking at your stats and they're not right. Especially for certain characters like Grenadier in War, you want him to have the highest damage. Other examples like that, it could be a big problem. So yeah, fix this, Scopely. My alliance just does use 7 difficulty 2. I have a pretty maxed out symbiote team. I want to focus on astonishing X-Men, Bishop, Jubilee, gear 14. The others are gear 12. Beast, I know is a must, but how important would you say the last 2 are? Like, worth putting more resources in for a person that likes the auto raids, which is you focused on after Beast. All right, so here's the thing. Ultimate's difficulty 2. So I'm not sure if you're talking about 5.2 or just Ultimate's 2. If you're at Ultimate's 2, you should be able to auto it with your Axemen right now, even at gear 12. Now, as far as what I did, I got my Jubilee up to gear 15 because I want to take her into Dark Dimension. Bishop is at gear 14 and Beast is at gear 14 as well. I took Jubilee up to 13 thinking I would need her at 14. Didn't really need her. Same thing with Iceman. So you could probably stop at 12. You don't need to go for 13 for Iceman and Jubilee. It doesn't add a lot of stats. I would stop at 12 for both of those. I think you're still going to be able to fully auto these nodes there. Obviously, some of that's going to change based on your gold stars and your red stars. If you have less gold stars and red stars, you probably need more gear. But where I was in the game, where they're all about 5 stars and up as far as their gold stars, and then 4 and up for their red stars. 15 for Jubilee, 14 for Bishop and Beast, and then 13, but should be 12 for Jubilee and Iceman. And that should be able to auto Ultimate's difficulty 2, Ultimate's difficulty 5.2, and should be setting you up pretty nicely for Doom raids with you. If we ever get these gear ISO requirements change and you can get into the Dooms anytime in soon, should do you justice there. And the symbiotes, you're going to need both anyway, so it's good that you have both of those teams. All right, ValleyFlyin, do you know when Jubilee will return? And what are your thoughts on her? I mean, I think she's a good character. As far as when we know she will return, we don't have an exact date, but if we go to the blog post, all this additional information was added after the fact. So after the fact, they added the next Jubilee event will be taking place before the Adam Warlock event. So we got notice in this blog post that we're having a legendary event coming as Doc Ock, which Jubilee should have been before Doc Ock, which is a problem if you look at their rotation. But I guess there's no rotation. They're just all random in 2021. We had a pretty good rotation. We had a pretty good trend there in 2020, but it seems very, very random. But yeah, before the next event for Adam Warlock, that's all we know. So who knows what that's going to be? Jubilee's going to be before that. And that's, yeah, I wish I had more to share with you, but that's all we know so far. But that was added to the blog post after the fact, brother. All right. Hey, Valley, it's been a while since I asked the question. Well, I'm glad you're back, Evil Shenanigans. 2 rotation of Greek roads ago, I was able to get 2 nodes away from the last mini boss in 4.2 global city lane using Uncanny Axemen for the global nodes without Beast. Last rotation, I was able to get 1 node away with Beast. This rotation meant 3 nodes away from the last mini boss. So my question does anybody keep track of when Dev's stealth buff raised? Because it looks like this is happening constantly. I have not noticed any stealth buffs with the raids. I have not noticed any difficulty changes. I've seen word from my alliance. People were wondering if the Stark Tech Blitz bug was back. And I don't know if you were playing back then. But when you go to battle in any kind of PvP mode, whether it be Blitz or War, you're all the enemies in the PvE mode, so it's a raids, arena, everything else that you're just battling the opponents, will have those Stark Techs added to your last opponent. Now, that was a bug that I thought got cleared up. My alliance was wondering about it this past weekend. I don't know if it was back or not. It was just some inquiring about that, but I don't think that they've stealth buff raised, and previously, at least what they said. I don't know how much I believe anymore, but at least what they said that they were not intentionally stealth buffing raised. I know there's some level of RNG. There's a little bit of variance with some of their stats, but I think that slight variance is built into there. Also, yeah, the enemy is going after different opponents. I've noticed that some days my raids are very, very hard, and like on a Doom on Friday, I was having trouble with that first node of skill. Usually just very, very easy. Friday, I was having a lot of trouble with it. Couldn't get through it. Had to use some refreshes for that node, and then went into the main boss and it was fine. So I think they're just RNG that's happening, and my runs on skills since then have been easy. So I think it's just some variance in the RNG. But obviously, if there is some buffing going on, I think it would be a very bad move to do that from Scopely's, and especially considering what's happening. If there are some buffs or some shenanigans going on with the raids and the difficulty sliders, I think it would be more due to incompetence than malice. I think it could be some bug introduced that they're not aware of. But I don't think that they're stealth buffing raids. I think they've gotten too much backlash with that Star Tech bug. And they may have been doing it in year 1 as well, but I don't think they've done it recently. So yeah, I don't think it's happening. But if you got evidence, this is to prove that. My goodness, this community would be even more fire than it is right now if we got some evidence for this. But in my opinion, I have not seen any evidence, and I've not experienced this in my own personal gameplay to say one way or the other. It doesn't seem like it. I mean, that's how I'll leave it. All right. Hey, Valley, happy to see that we got a Sam Wilson Captain America. As far as the rumors, yes. I'm glad to see this is not a skin, and his fighting style has completely changed when we went from Falcon to Cap. I'm interested to see if his kiss and animation. So, all right. So these are all rumors at this point. This may be a skin, although I think he does deserve his own characters. We got a couple characters right now, and generally I'm not in favor of the same character being in the game multiple times. But we got 2 Peter Parkers right now, in normal Spider-Man, Symbiote Spider-Man. We also have 2 Eddie Brocks in Venom and Anti-Venom. So we have a few different multiple characters. I would not be opposed to Sam being a Captain America and Falcon in this game, because I think they're so different. Falcon is very different than what he does as Captain America. Their looks are different. I think their kits should be totally different. And if skins are not changing the kits of characters, like they said, at least they didn't have any plans to do it at the time. And you know how they could change things. You know, if they don't have any plans at the time, but the very next day they have those plans, well, their first blog post, their first communication is correct, because at that time they didn't have any. But regardless of that, I hope he's going to be a new character, not a skin, although that's not clear yet. If you remember what Drew said, his source was not clear on what is going on with Sam Wilson as Captain America, so maybe it does mean a skin. I don't know. We'll have to see. Any word on whether we get a hero version of Bucky White Wolf? I don't know. We'll see what happens with this to see what is the likely scenario with this. But I think we need more information to determine what's going to happen with Sam Wilson as Captain America. Next question, though, with Nebula Gamora being reworked as 3 Infinity Watch characters coming out for a full team, do you think this could be the next legendary unlock after Adam Warlock? I hope not. I hope not. I hope this is a mythical legendary that we get with Adam Warlock. They go back to more normal legendaries. We got that One, if they did it this year, that could qualify as kind of a mythic with Ebony Maw requiring Black Bolt. We didn't have those other requirements that we do with Adam Warlock, but then we went back to Jubilee, and then we went back to Doc Ock, then Jubilee as normal legendary characters. I'm thinking this is gonna be a mythic, or I'm at least hoping that if they're gonna continue to go mythics in the future for these legendaries, it's not going to be a very player friendly experience for people that don't spend money or people that haven't been playing for a long time in this game. So I hope it's not. It's definitely possible. All the stuff is definitely possible. Who knows what they're thinking over the Scopely offices, or I guess it's called Boundless right now, but the parent company still is called Scopely. So but yeah, who knows? It's definitely possible though, but I hope this is not something they continue with in the future, except for rare type of legendaries like Ebony Maw, like Adam Warlock, and the very select ones nowadays. I hope they don't, now and then, I hope they don't do this in the future, but it could be possible. It could be possible. 3 Infinity Watch characters, so Adam Warlock, Moondragon, and Phylavel for the next legendary. That could be very bad. Or even if they include Gamora and Nebula, who longer time players have at 7 stars already, still could be pretty bad. So we'll see. We'll see what they do with this one. I hope it's not as you're suggesting here. All right. Oh, this is part of a much larger question. Now, the main question is right here, but a lot of us ranting there. Didn't want to include the whole thing, so apologize, hug up for cutting out some of the messaging. But yeah, a lot of it was ranting, and I felt I've done enough ranting over the past few days that we don't need more. But let me answer your question, brother. Hope you're feeling well. Thank you, brother. Hope you are as well. What do you think of the Adam Warlock release method? I know it's a new way to get players specifically free to play even more frustrated with the game. I've been playing for 3 years and I've started Dark Dimension 4 now. What I need to wait to get enough pieces for my global tunes, not fun. I feel the game was getting really good place before Scopely came. I still don't think I can unlock Jubilee, and even though I've unlocked Maw on the first pass. So, well, Jubilee, we do know her event is coming back, so hopefully you have your not X Factor, your Pimtech ready for Jubilee when she comes back. So hopefully that is something that you get before we get this Adam Warlock release. But yeah, it's not a fun decision what they've done with this, especially with the ISO combined with the fact they're also requiring ISO for the Doom raid. So the stars, I think that was natural. And hopefully this does mean that we're gonna get all these X Factor characters who are a very good team in this game. Hopefully we get them all farmable very, very soon with a good amount of time between their farmability time and the release of the Adam Warlock first iteration of the legendary event. But one thing that you mentioned here was you feel like it's a better place before Scopely came. Last week, we talked about this article. This is from Venture Beat, Games Beat. How Scopely tries to do with the way acquisitions in the game, and one of the people that was interviewed was Amir Rahimi, and Amir Rahimi is the president of games at Scopely. Now, what he said was, where is this? Oh, one of the big things Rahimi liked that Scopely gave creative freedom to make the right decisions for Marvel Strike Force and other games such as the upcoming Avatar title. So, Amir Rahimi has been there since day one. So he personally feels more empowered at Scopely than ever before. So it may not be Scopely as well. And maybe Scopely obviously has a history of turning games around, like Looney Tunes, like the Star Trek game. But maybe Disney, maybe Fox was restraining the people at Fox Next, and we're kind of forcing them to do the decision that they were made. We still had a lot of bugs. We still had a lot of issues with the game. But yes, maybe it was more player friendly because of Disney or Fox, the constraints that they put on them, and not necessarily Scopely putting more on them. I don't know. Maybe it is exactly Scopely because of their history with their other games. But as far as this statement here, he feels more empowered at Scopely than ever before. So it might be the old Fox Next crew still making decisions, guys. So yeah, it might not be Scopely at all. It might be Fox Next that's still doing this stuff. All right, Hulk Smith, what is up, brother? From NYC, what is up from TX? With the community on fire about the Doom raids, I think there's an easily solution that Scopely can make people less mad. I'm assuming Doom raid slider works just like Ultima 7. I assume it is as well, based on what I've seen and what they've said. I believe if they reopen Iso-8 level 1 for Doom 1, Iso-8 level 2 for Doom 2, and so up to Doom 5, I think people would be more happy with this and able to upgrade their ISOs as soon as they progress to higher level Doom levels. What do you think? So here's the thing. it would really be dependent on which Doom we are having right now in this first strike iteration. If Doom 1 is equated to what we have in this first strike and it just gets harder from there, I don't have a problem with this. If it's for all of these Doom raids and we're not able to enter content that we were previously able to enter, then I do have a problem with the current system. So I think there was so much vagueness in the blog post. They could have been a little more specific. They talked about some ways to increase the economy of purple gear and orange gear in the beginning of the strike time video. After that, they said there's some minor tweaks coming to the economy changes. And in my opinion, minor tweaks to the Iso-8 system, the amount of crystals that we get, the amount of Iso-8 ions that we're getting is not enough to make some minor tweaks. I think it needs a whole overhaul, especially if Iso-8 is coming, because if that is going to be the next bottleneck, Iso-8 green should be severely eased up on, especially if it's going to be requirements for future content. So this could work depending on what they're planning to do with the difficulty. It really makes no sense to make the difficulty easier if it makes it harder to get into the raids, because right now the difficulty is not a problem for me. It's going to be the entering the raids, because yeah, if I'm currently able to almost fully clear a lane in the Doom raids, and now I'm not even going to be able to enter, that's a problem. That's moving the goalpost. That's changing current content and changing future content. I don't have as much of an issue with, because that is progressing the game, but making it so that current content is harder to do, harder to even get into. That's where I have a problem, and I think that's where a lot of the community has problems when who's going to be able to enter this? Only a very small portion of the community is going to be able to enter these new Doom raids if this is the current requirement. So hopefully they go back on this. It is your solution sounds fine depending on the difficulty and the rewards though. So yeah, we'll see what they happen, and I hope we get some announcement very soon, either today or tomorrow. Very, very soon in the next few days, because they left us hanging this weekend. We got no information of the weekend. We did not get a lot of communication from the weekend, just a lot of anger and a lot of people threatening to leave. And I'm hearing a lot of people are leaving. And I don't know how much of that is, I mean, all of it is secondhand. Nobody's told me firsthand. So I don't know how much of that is accurate, but there's a lot of reports of people leaving because of that blog post on Friday. Not good as far as the bombshell department. All right, Valley, I'm hoping you can clear up the last part of the blog post when they say Doom updates also include the addition of raid difficulty selector, which have a reduced unlock requirement of completing Ultimate 7 at 60% instead of the usual 100%. Does this mean that the different levels of Doom are going down to 60%? Again, there's a lot of vagueness in the blog post. This is something that also was not clear. If I was to make a guess, and that's based on all the information you know as well, I would say yes. I would say it should. But who knows? I mean, this might be their intention, and they screwed up with some kind of errors in the processing. They might make it hard, all 100%, but in order to get Doom, you go to 60%. That would seem kind of backwards to me, but hey, this is Scopely we're talking about, so it could be like that. Or they're saying 60% in Ultimate 7 to unlock the Doom raids in the slider. So it also could be that if you 60% Ultimate 7.5, that will allow you to get into the Doom raids. Apparently with them making it easier, more alliances are able to get in, but if we're not, are able to complete it. But when they're advancing the requirements to even get in, I don't know, it's going to reduce the amount of alliances that go in. So this whole thing seems very, very backwards to me. It seems like they didn't want people double teaming a lane or all going to the center. So they say, all right, screw you guys. You guys have to put at least level 4 on this, and all you could do is part of the raids. Or this is just another cash grab, like I said. Iso-8 didn't sell very well. It's very player friendly. It's a good experience. You got some customization with it, as long as you not have to rush it and base your roster around this new bottleneck that we have to do in order to get into content. So it's a very short-sighted decision, and I hope they go back on this. But there's so many issues that this Iso-8 requirement could face, and who knows what they're going to do with this requirements in order to enter. It should be easier to enter, right? If they're making the content easier, it should be harder to get in if they're making the content easier. Just seems so backwards what they did. It's like I said before, I don't even know if they play their game. They might just play it on a dev build, and they don't go into the raids. They don't know this. They don't build up their characters because they've got unlimited resources. They can test it. They don't know how long it takes to get one character from level 4 ISO to level 5 ISO. 2-3 weeks more for some people if you're not refreshing those nodes. That's just for one character. And we're gonna need full teams, multiple teams for this. No, this such a backwards decision. All right, my brother was one of Dracula received an Infinity Watch tag as well. Not only is the father of Moondragon, also affiliated with the comics. Would like to hear your input. I know what you know right now about Drax and this new team. As far as my opinion, my speculation for this, I would say if they're gonna rework Drax, it's probably gonna be closer to the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 movie. I don't see them a reason why they would rework the Guardians right now. Unless there was a reason, unless there's a new character coming, they usually don't rework characters. So I would be very happy if they reworked Drax, but I just don't see it happening. Now, granted, take that with a grain of salt, because I didn't think Adam Warlock would be coming to the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 movie as well. So those are my opinions. If you have different opinions, and it's just speculation from me, let me know in the comments down below if you have a dissenting opinion on that. All right, hey Valley, hope all is well with you and the family and the recovery as well. It is going well. Thank you, brother. All right, more of a statement than a question. Watch all the videos over the weekend about the Iso-8 requirements and backlash. As Remedex noted, this wasn't necessarily unseen. Their problem is their 0 to 60 approach. How do you go from not requiring Iso-8 on anything to make it required at the highest level? That I think is where the jarring effect went from. It's not that hard to get Iso-8 level 3 on every single character. It's very hard to get Iso-8 level 5 on one character, even if you're focus farming on that one character. With Warlock being the least progressive at level 3, with a reason to unlock, but the Doom Raid requirement goes straight to 4-5 without any transition for the players to allow them acclimate is the real issue here. I guess they figure as long as they communicate, they're in the clear. Maybe they should have introduced the ISO-8 requirement at lower levels in one of their events, which preceded the community for the possibility of ISO-8 requirements. This could have been less jarring than it is right now. It is a very big step up. ISO-8 1, 2, 3, very easy. You could even say ISO-8 4 doesn't take that long to get on a single character, but 5, like I said, I think it go back to them not playing their game. They're just like, all right, we need to either make more money or we need to slow down the progression of the community. They're having too much fun in the Doom raids, being able to 30% it every day going on one raid. This is not our intent. We need to make it less fun. We need to slow things down for them so not as many players can get in and not many players can solve this content. So in their pursuit of profitability, they're decreasing the fun in this game, and that never feels good. And that's why so many players are angry. And in addition to this as well, not requiring it for anything, and they're requiring it at the steepest level with very little notice. This is not coming in update 5.6, 5.7, 6.0. This is coming in update 5.4, what they're saying, the very next update. So yeah, crap. Their vlog is crap, really. Greetings from Jersey. FY, I'm becoming actively recruiting like crazy as a low-end end game player. So many people have left the game this past week, and yeah, more reports of people leaving over this crap blog post. Scopely, do you guys know how to read the room? Do you know? I go back to, do you guys play this game? Do you guys have fun at this game, or do you guys just play it on a dev build and not even know all the requirements? You're just looking at team by team. I mean, that's why Skeletori sucked when they came in the game. That's why the Shadowland had to be reworked before we had their final stats and things like that. I mean, and the decision to farm Red Guardian and have that stupid arena orb and remove the Kingpin orb, not just one, but both of them at the same time. I don't think they play the game. So many people have left the game this past weekend. Ridiculous power creep. Friday's blog post of the ISO-8 requirements. Yeah, not a recommendation, Scopely, a requirement. We don't get to figure it out. We have to be locked into your stupid little box, and that's how we play this game, instead of having some freedom to play the game how we want. I'm upset at Scopely right now. I don't think they play this game. I don't think they know how to play this game for fun. They just play it on their dev build. The scramble for alliances, for full wars and raids is going to be a real problem in the future. Yeah, I don't know how many, even OMG, who had a high level alliance doing Doom raids on a 100% daily basis, not even going to be able to enter the new Doom raids with this requirement because they're so steep. So stupid. And yeah, people are leaving, and it's gonna be a problem for alliances as far as recruiting as well. This is gonna be doing that to alliances. Not it, and as if the milestones didn't shake up alliances anymore, causing them to break up. Now requirements. People, it's gonna make it so hard to recruit people as well. Think about recruiting. You know, oh, what is your collection power? 12 million? Oh, you're good. Come in, raid us. Wait, hold on. You don't have your symbiotes all at level 5 ISO. Sorry, that was we needed in our alliance, so we can't recruit you. It's so dumb. They're making it so complicated, and as they make it more and more complicated, they make it less and less fun. So Scopely, read the room, guys. Play the game. Make it fun. You're just taking the life out of this game by making it more and more about requirements and spending, and not making it about fun. You got to bring the fun back. Valley, costume question. Scarlet Witch and Thor are my two strongest tunes, but I'm partial to the Vision costume. My fear in selecting Vision over Thor or Wakanda. At some point, Scopely makes a costume decision required it, which is the case. Thor would be my first choice, Wanda my second, and Vision my third. What do you think? Definitely possible. Like I said previously, they said in their blog post, and they always give themselves wiggle room, that, you know, we have no plans currently to make costumes required for anything or to add stats onto them, or maybe they just say stats. But as far as this requirement, that's kind of the general thing. But if you look at the wording, I think they did give themselves an out in case they do this in the future. But they always word things like that. What do you think? It's possible. I'm probably gonna buy Thor just because I'm using Thor right now. But Wanda, I think, is the better costume as far as visual and what she actually changes for the character. But I hardly ever use Wanda. I hardly ever use Vision, so it's not really gonna be affecting me. I'd say at this point, it could be a problem in the future, but at this point, just have fun. If you want the Scarlet Witch costume, get the Scarlet Witch costume. If you want the Thor costume, get the Thor costume. Maybe it will be a problem in the future, but have fun for right now. Worry about the problem down the road. I know that's not sound advice, but with Scopely, you never know what's going to happen. It's hard to make a decision because they changed paths so many times, and it's hard to plan in this game in the future. So my advice, have fun right now. Have fun right now. Don't worry about the future. It's hard to plan because Scopely changes things so often. So get the costume you want. Get the costume you want. If you're going to use a character more than others, that should be a little more prioritization for you. But if you enjoy a character more than the other, or if you enjoy a costume more than the other, then yes, get that one. Keep taking the content. Smashing in Texas, brother. We'll keep smashing in Western New York. Oh, yes. And hopefully the restrictions get lifted and we can start to do some meetups and have some fun, guys. Yeah, we talk about it in the Valley Club in the mornings on stream, but hopefully we do that very soon. Greetings from Titan. Greetings from Earth, brother. Want to enter Dark Dimension 4. What in your opinion on what fourth character should be global? I have Sinister, Zemo, and Ghost at the moment. I was thinking of Red Guardian for the sake of efficiency for the Doom Raids. Who should be my fourth or fifth? So talked about this as planning your Dark Dimension rosters in a previous question. Get it based on three different things: cost, and some cost characters not as good, but they're very cheap. Even though Shield Trooper is very cheap, I still do not recommend him because he doesn't fulfill any of the other requirements. There's cost, there's a value in Dark Dimension 4, and again, Trooper does none of that. And then their value after Dark Dimension 4. So for that, I think as far as cost, you're going to be best served by going with Black Widow. So if you want to get in sooner and cost is important to you, Black Widow is good. I'm using her in the skill nodes of the Doom Raids every single day. She's my first option, so you're still going to have some use for her after that. If you're looking for her value in Dark Dimension 4, Emma Frost is the way to go. Very, very expensive character, and it could hamstring you as far as your mutants for later. But if you're just looking for the best character for Dark Dimension 4, Emma is going to do that for you. I'm in my third run. We started the third run of Global yesterday, and yeah, Sinister, Emma, and Ghost can pretty much one-shot all those nodes. You don't even need the rest of the characters. So if you're looking for Dark Dimension value, Emma's the way to go there. And if you're looking for the value after Dark Dimension 4, I think Black Widow also fills that requirement. But you could go with Red Guardian. He's an important part of that military skill team, important part of the skill lanes for the Doom Raids. But yeah, those are my choices. But other candidates that you might want to consider if you're using these characters more than some of the ones I mentioned: Taskmaster, decent choice; Yo-Yo, decent choice; Falcon, decent choice; and very, very expensive, but Ultron, if you're using him or planning to use him, still a decent character. He's fallen off, and once you get Doom, you may not be using Ultron as much. So consider that if you do want to bring up Ultron. But those are the candidates I recommend for global in Dark Dimension, brother. All right, and next question is, what is up, ValleyFlyin? Theory crafting an unconventional team of Hulk, Captain America, Killmonger, Punisher, and Captain Marvel, trying to take some advantage of the leftover military and Wave 1 synergies. I put Hawkeye as the fifth on my military skills. So if we're talking about military skill and war synergy, I'm assuming that we're talking about war offense for this team. So let's see what this team is. So a question about Captain Marvel. Can her passive crit? And 2, if it can't mark enemies as vulnerable, is she used as a raider? So, all right, if she can mark it as enemies as vulnerable. All right, so I am not sure. I went into a few real-time arena battles to try to test this out. And I don't know if she was just very, very unlucky, but I did not see it crit any of the times. And I also had Longshot and Shatterstar on the team. Neither of them gained any turn meter. Neither of them gained any barriers. So either in all of my tests, she didn't crit or she cannot crit. And if she can't crit, she's not going to mark enemies as vulnerable. So I don't think it happens like that. But if anybody has any contradictory evidence for this, let me know in the comments, because I'm not 100% sure. I'm about 60% sure on this answer. So there's still a lot of wiggle room, but I don't think she could crit. And if not, I don't think she could use mark the enemies were vulnerable. But even if she can, it's very strange how the passives works. Passives are not very consistent. Sometimes passive could activate Iso-8 bonuses. Sometimes they can't. So if anybody knows for sure 100%, let me know in the comments, because even when my testing is very, very hard to tell. And next question, any guesses, thoughts when they'll make Longshot, Shatterstar, Polaris, Farmable? The data mine shows multiple man going to Doom 3-9, which who goes to campaign? So multiple man going to the campaign if the data mine is correct. And I think that I haven't seen that data mine, so I didn't know who did the data mine. I don't know where it's from, but I'm hearing multiple reports of it. So for the sake of this question, we'll just assume that the data mine is true, but it's probably gonna happen. But all right, so multiple man campaign nodes. All right, Blitz, Raid, War, Arena. All right, so I'm gonna take off Raid because it looks like Yo-Yo is going to Raid. So that's gonna leave Blitz, War, and Arena. So as far as Arena, my guess, and these are just guesses, guys. My guesses are gonna be good as yours. Arena, I'm gonna guess Shatterstar. And the reason for my guess is Shatterstar, he's in the Battle Pass right now. Their previous Battle Pass characters, Red Guardian, Scream, has been added to the Arena Orb, and that may just because of the timing of them adding the Arena Orb, but that is making me guess Shatterstar. So hopefully Shatterstar goes in there, Scream comes out, and hopefully another character goes in there very soon to get Shatterstar out and into the normal store, and hopefully that'll reduce the cost of Red Guardian as well and reduce the cost of Scream eventually. Hopefully it's a one-to-one trade-off, and hopefully this is something they're doing on a constant basis. So that is my hope with Shatterstar, but hopefully getting that reduced cost very, very soon. Not just that orb, because that orb, that Arena Orb sucks. I wish they kept that Kingpin Orb and added an Arena Orb, but anyway. Longshot and Polaris. So neither of them are very player friendly. The Blitz Orb, where Domino is right now, that's not farmable in my opinion. And the War Store, which is farmable, but it's a very hard farm because it's a very crowded store. It's a lot of good characters. So for that, I'm going to say that Longshot is a little better character, so I think he's going to be a little more valuable. I'm going to predict him in the War Store, and then Polaris as the Blitz Orb exclusive character. That sounds so bad, but that's my prediction. And you could flip Polaris and Longshot with that, but that's my guesses. Based on what I've seen in the past and no evidence of what is coming, no rumors or anything like that. But that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the Q&A mailbag. Hopefully this answered some of your questions. Hopefully Scopely goes back and reads some of their blog posts and goes back and starts and actually has their devs, the decision makers, start playing this game and making more decisions based on not just money. They obviously have to remain profitable, but not just money, on fun as well. And I think that's what they need. They need to start adding fun, adding things that are fun, not just adding things that are more grindy. Because if you look at 2021, all we've gotten is more grind to this game. No real fun elements that have been added. There's been some events that have been fun, but no real new serious game content that's been fun. That's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Thank you everybody that left a question for the mailbag, whether it got answered or not, whether it got cut out a little or not. Thank you for everybody, and leave your questions down there. Again, the link to Discord is being down below. Join that Discord server, be a part of the Valley Club, and your question could potentially get featured in an upcoming episode of the Monday or Sunday mailbag. So yes, stay tuned for that. Also, I'm on Twitter a lot, and the best place to ask me a question is probably gonna be on Twitter, but I also am on Discord from time to time, so most of those are good options. Facebook, I'm not really on that, so I apologize to everybody that's left a question on Facebook. I'm not really sure how to check the questions on my mobile device without leaving a reply with my real name. And then every time I'm in front of my PC, I forget about Facebook. So Facebook's not the best place to reach me. Discord and Twitter are, if you guys want to leave, if you guys want to communicate, ask a real simple, quick question. Those are the best places. And of course, check out some of my other videos. Check out some of the sponsors, including Raid Shadow Legends down below, guys. And I will see you next time. Give me a Hulk fist bump before you go. We are streaming tomorrow morning on Twitch. ValleyFlyin76 is the channel. Check me out there. Join the Valley Club. I will see you guys next time. Hulk fist bump. ValleyFlyin out.